Right, so now we're inside. Notice what I did, an old towel that I picked up somewhere, I put down in front of the window. It makes it look good. It'll catch a little bit, it's not vital, but it looks good to the homeowner. I've taken my shoes off, all right? I'm always careful not to drip. If I do pull my washer out, I do it over the towel, okay? Anyway, so same process. Again, I got too much soap on here. This is too much, right? But I'll wash the top and the bottom, okay? Another thing I would have done before this is lift the window up, and with my microfiber towel, I wipe the frame or the window sill. So I would get this really good. You might want to brush it out first, okay? Brushing first. Do that. It depends. Some of them are really bad. This takes a little while, but you want to really get this good. This is an extra thing that other window cleaners and housekeepers don't do. So you want to get that nice and clean. I tell people that's included in my price. So they're like, oh my goodness, that's so nice. Again, wash here, right? Both directions, that loosens up. You also want to get into the edges and corners, right? Really well. Sometimes I'll leave my washer right there so that'll catch some of the water. Now, with the top one, again, you can pull top to bottom or left to right. On the top panel, me personally, the top sash, this is called a sash, I like to pull top down. And there's a reason for that, I'll get into that later. This is just personal preference again, but that's my personal preference. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna wipe the lead edge. On the bottom one, I like to go left to right, and it drips on my washer, okay? A few more details here, I can go into some of that later. On your second swipe, by the way, what, Mommy? I know, but he can rewind it. On the second swipe, you've got dry, good glass here, right? That's clean. You want to actually press a little lighter on this. And again, this is kind of so that your rubber up here doesn't press too much on this clean area and get it dirty because
Don't even think of it.
So anyway, I can go into that later. These boys are distracting me. But now I've got still got my microfiber. I'm gonna clean up like this area up here, right? Stand up on the chair, Bucks. So I can use this while I've got it in my hand to get a little bit of this type of thing. See that? Okay. Now I come back, put that away, come back with my dry. And again, you want a good, clean, dry rag, blue rag, to get all the edges like this. See that? I'm kind of holding it back and I'm getting into these corners really, really good. You don't want any moisture left on the glass, okay? If you have to use it to get a little something like this, again, you hold it back, 1 or 2 fingers in there, get the bottom one right here, okay? And there was a little bit of moisture there. I can get that. Again, I'm always switching to a dry part of my rag when I go back and holding the rest of my rag out here like this, okay? So again, microfiber is for everything but the glass, right? The frame, anytime I gotta do that. The blue is for the glass itself. Again, if I needed something a little more, oh, this little goober thing, this thing is perfect. Keep it dry though. Sometimes I'll bang out the dust of it because it'll leave a little dust residue. Boom, get little something if it needs it, like that. And that's a perfect, now I've cleaned this glass before, so it comes out really good. But if it's the first time, you're gonna need more attention to it. There's gonna be little spots on it, little things, paint. Summer wants me to do this one. Now I would have probably done that one first. Now I would never stand on people's furniture. I'd bring a little two or three step in, but since this is my own house, I'll just show you real quick how I would do this. Okay, again, you got a 3-step, you would do this first because I'm going to inevitably drip down on that other window, so you always start the highest window first. But again, give it a real good scrub. Now this is where my smaller squeegee comes into play. This is an 8-inch squeegee. You can use a slightly bigger, slightly smaller, and again, you want your rubber to be on the glass, nice and smooth, controlled, okay? Second one, Now inevitably it doesn't come out perfect. Again, I've got too much soap, number one, but I do have to come back with my clean blue rag and clean this up. Make sure you get any smudges. Kind of hard to tell from probably the video, but I had to get some extra little moisture right there that I got. Again, go to a clean part. See how I drape it over my arm. Come back with this. Clean up some of the edges, right? Boom. Make sure there's nothing dripping down. And this is really, really good. If I needed to go back with, again, my steel wool, get a little something. Sometimes you have to clean up a little residue that the steel wool leaves behind. So you gotta come back. The way I do my rags is, this is my first rag to go to. If this is a little too dirty for what I'm trying to do, I would go to the next cleanest, driest rag. And then I would have, Jaden, and then I would have my cleanest, driest rag here. This is almost like a backup in case these other ones get too dirty or wet. So I kind of keep them in an order in my head. I always go to this one first, this one second, right? And then this one last. They're still good for things, but they just get dirtier or wetter, and therefore they're good for different things. That's just me. These are just personal preference. Some guys only carry 2, some guys only carry 1, some guys like to go back to the truck. I just don't like to go back to my truck a lot. That's why I carry all my stuff with me at the same time. All right, Colin, love you. Lesson number 3 later on. I don't know what that is yet, but I'll show you.
Colin, do you want to play live?
See you later, Colin.